Greetings, beloved souls. I am Navjeet, a seeker hailing from the enchanted land of India. My journey, sparked by a divine discontent, led me through the realms of meditation, healing, and ancient yogic practices. Along this path, I have been graced to connect with the multitude of enlightened beings from the cosmos. Why do I share these channeled messages with you? It is not just a privilege, it's a sacred duty. Because these transmissions, gifted to me by various galactic beings, offer a guided light towards higher consciousness. They unveil insights into the unfolding tapestry of existence, providing glimpses into probable events, revealing transformative humanitarian projects, our hidden history, and illuminating the spiritual evolution of humanity. This is not just information, it's an invitation to embark on a collective journey of awakening. Join me as we explore the cosmic wisdom shared by these benevolent beings, understanding our place in this vast multiverse. Today, I present to you the channeled call with Commander Ashtar of the Ashtar Command. Commander Ashtar resides in 5D, even though, like all of us, he is multidimensional and has a vast history spanning numerous planets, stars, and lifetimes. Over billions of years, he has been dedicated to a profound undertaking, the seeding and evolutionary development of various planets, not limited to Earth alone. Among his cosmic endeavors, he has played a significant role in initiating life on Earth, contributing through intentional creation and the evolution of humanity. Presently, as Earth faces a state of imbalance, and with a vested interest in the well-being of its inhabitants, he has chosen to extend his assistance. His purpose is to guide and support Earth through its evolutionary journey into the fifth dimension and beyond. This mission stems from a divine commitment to the flourishing of life and the harmonious progression of civilizations throughout the cosmos. He speaks quite fast through all the channels, so I have slowed down the audio a bit to make it more understandable to all. So, dear beings of light, I present to you Commander Ashtar Sheran of the Ashtar Command.
I am that I'm Lord Ashtar of the Ashtar Command. I come in at this time, our brother of light is to give greater clarity and understanding, but I pause momentarily. I first all wish to say I salute you, I commend you. It has been my great honor to connect with those of you who have taken the plunge, extended tours many times upon this planet. As part of the ground crew, the boots on the ground. We use many different terms, but it refers to the sense of your mission and your purpose. And it is, as this channel has shared, yes, there are accelerations at play here to help you help yourself, as in God helps those who help themselves, that you yourself have great potential and great power and great knowledge stored within you. And it's my desire today to help you help yourself access beyond I or any other being. It is your ability to tap in more and more as the energies become more aligned. There is many challenges now. What this channel was tapping into briefly, I would say that yes, there's much truth to this fact that there are aspects of discernment, of being able to discern, being able to make the right choices. That is not only, as we would say, the best choices you can make out of a series of many choices, but the things that will best serve you, and to let go of the things, aspects. Some of it can be very subtle within your consciousness, habits, ways of orienting that, but now it's an expansion, the challenge of expanding, the challenge of embracing your potential and tapping back into situations that may initially be a little painful when the veils lift and you start to remember incidences of happening when you came to this planet a number of times, as we would say, knowledge, information to share with humanity. But because as term, not only was the AI, negative artificial intelligence aspect, but there was also many forces that have blocked humanity's progress, who took a spin, made those things and put a spin upon those things and twisted them around. And it was also the lesson of learning who you could trust. First of all, trusting thyself, trusting your own I am presence, that was within you, related to divine creation, trusting your guidance. It was always there, even when it seemed almost impossible that you could achieve something. When you believed in yourself strong enough, there was no way that you could be stopped. But there were, because forces that were sometimes jealous, they didn't want to see you succeed in what your mission was, to uplift, help humanity. So again, many of them tried to play upon your ego and things of that nature because they had ulterior motives. So it was learning to trust, learning to discern, learning to fine tune the instrument, like taking the analogy of a camera, turning the shutter, getting a little more perspective and contrast, the difference between light and shadow. Where are the areas that you can connect with and strengthen, and where are the areas that you need to kind of let go of and kind of transform? So what this channel was picking up a little earlier regarding interacting with certain individuals, I would say that there's a karmic and dharmic aspect to that. Dharma being more of the positive karmic aspects of potential that can come out of certain alliances, but it's all a matter of putting a cosmic security code frequency around you. And it's a matter of, some call it the armor of God, the armor of God, sense of creating an impenetrable shield of light that only those, it's like a cosmic security code that only allows individuals and circumstance that is a benefit to you and humanity. It's fail-safe. There's no way that any imbalanced energies can penetrate when you have the cosmic security code perfectly aligned with divine creation and aligned with your highest and best, so that everything you do, so it's being able to use your spiritual power and kind of define for you the path before you. The question has often been asked about how much is it destined and how much is it free will? Well, it's a combination. When you align one's free will with divine will, our divine creator, divine source, then it's like the divine creator is saying, well, since you're emphasizing my will through your desire to uphold it, I'm going to give you more free will because you show the responsibility or responsibility handling that amount of free will. So you're showing by demonstrating it that you can, in fact, by utilizing all of the tools and techniques and opportunities, and turn it to the highest and best. And that's where we would say the green energy, it's kind of a very bright, brilliant green that's coming and representing manifestations over the next 2 or 3 or 4 years. This is a time of transition in many ways, for the transition humanity's already gone through, but it's the fact that your particular area, what we're focusing on right now, and in regards to past times and some of the cycles that you have been a part of to help this planet ultimately achieve its ascension and its victory of the light. And I would want to go back and I want to define some of these things, because one thing that as we have noted, and the energies that it draws certain souls to one another for different reasons, in this case regarding this channel, his mission, and regarding your mission, all of the ground crew, as we see, all of what has been termed the 144,000. Now, you're all unique, you all have unique personalities and aspects, but there are some collective things that you share in fellowship as being a part of the extended cosmic family, a part of the universal realms, of coming here many, many times by being with great passion, out of great compassion, and to help humanity. But it's the fact that the 144,000 was the original core group of volunteers, the original ones, who over 6.5 million years of linear chronological time, one would say, that you came here, you made a vow that no matter how many lifetimes it took until the job was done, you would keep coming back. And so it's a sense of becoming more aware of that, of the implications of what that means, that this being your last and final embodiment, as far as how the 51% of the light would gain the upper hand at a certain point. Actually, that happened a number of decades ago, but there was so much darkness and things that needed to be eliminated, and helping people by helping them understand their choices and options. Because sometimes communication, the ability to communicate, the ability to understand within themselves, often because of the programmings and indoctrinations of both religious as different versus spirituality, but religion and stuff, dogma and things that keep people stuck in boxes, and much of the control that the imbalanced forces have placed and infiltrating of the priesthoods around the planet to distort the original image and the purity and the beauty of what once that divine source had created. So beyond concepts, opinions, and theories of you having knowledge, having technical knowledge and information, wisdom, coming many times to this planet, being connected with many councils off planet. Now you have been, as an honorary member of my command, the Ashtar Command in long standing, which is part of the what has been for a long time the Galactic Federation. But as this channel knows, recently, because AI infiltrating aspect, it became the Galactic Alliance, as related to the intergalactic universal alliance, our guardian alliance, where representing all beings of light, representing upholding those sacred principles that create balance and order, and that is which is sacred and holy, and the highest investment that universe could create. Those that are guardians to the alliance in different levels have come here for many, many eons of time to make a difference. So you've been very much connected with various different councils on throughout the universal realms. And one of those councils, in fact, is connected with what has been termed the karmic board, as for many different ascended beings, masters, lords, ladies of karma, whose job was to hold the light, but also try to help humanity to release all the negative karma. The problem was that imbalanced forces created traps and different ways to ensnare humanity and pull humanity down, what we call spiritual adhesion contracts. And contracts aren't just things on paper as things of agreement that one has printed up and one signs it. Contracts can be energetic situations that is forced upon humanity by certain energies and forces that do not have humanity's best interest, because they manipulate the conditions of reality, where others that are not as evolved cannot perceive how they're being, quote, manipulated. So it's a matter of using the discernment, being able with a pure heart to be able to connoiter through the humdrum of different choices and distractions. And you had developed many abilities to do that, but the thing was that you, again, in your pure heart, you had to make certain decisions. How to be, as we would say, even the concept of tough love, to be firm, loving, but stand one's ground, and not to be manipulated by energies and forces. And of course, here on Earth, there are ways of one can learn things that you cannot learn any other place, like the levels of discernment, the levels of being able to discern and decipher what are the best choices. So it's like a spiritual boot camp. It is as we could say, someone could say, it's a special forces kind of training to come to Earth and to not only survive, but to prosper and be successful. And when I speak of success, I'm thinking of spiritual success, which may or may not have relevance to the sense of physical material abundance. It's a sense of the spiritual sense of who you are, of mastering certain things that you have to face lifetime after lifetime, but helping all souls also realize that they're not stuck in old conditions forever. That term, the cosmic law of grace, that was brought to this planet to eliminate the negative buildup of karma, what some call the negative matrix that humanity's been stuck in. So you had come up with ideas, abilities, and ways for humanity to break itself free of term the matrix and to connect through their own sense of consciousness, their I am presence to divine source. But a lot of things were done to destroy that potential And again, individuals that you trusted, such as during the time of Lemurian Atlantis, when you came to Earth and brought in technology and information, things that were designed to help liberate humanity. Unfortunately, many of those ideas got sidetracked, hijacked by other entities. And AI was also involved in a lot of those situations, conundrum things that you found yourself caught up into. And so many of the dramas that are played on Earth before coming to Earth, one writes a life script and says, okay, I'm going to write the script so that I can face these challenges and overcome these things. And toward the end of this whole cosmic journey of coming to Earth, as the energy of the divine creation will bring certain, as we say, revelations and epiphanies of certain self-realizations will take place, and you would program this into your own DNA, RNA, through the learning that you would go through and the technologies, we'll call them consciousness Elohim technologies, quantum technologies, not to be confused with negative AI. This is technology that is harmonious and empowers and frees makes humanity more sovereign and more able to tap into their highest potential. But again, those things were hijacked. So there was a sense of a feeling of great guilt that was there. Again, related, can you trust that guidance? Because the way the other forces tried to do it was to make you misinterpret what is actually the sense of truth. What, again, I use the term beyond conscious opinions and theories, we call them sut truth. They're always universal axioms. They're always true. Now, sometimes it's not to say that you may not encounter what is called a paradox. This is related to even time travel, paradoxical things, or that is when apparently two conflicting truths occupying the same space. Now, as we could say, universal engineer, scientist, spiritual sense being who had consciousness technologies and being aware of things, that you were also connected with groups of beings who also impacted the timeline. There's been termed time wars that have happened, where beings have battled out to manipulate the timelines, and you were very much connected. We're working in such a way that you could add, and we could say share your knowledge and information that interface with various other beings, part of the Guardians, part of the Alliance, that would liberate humanity ultimately, but allowing yourself to be entangled a few times so that you could find ways to break out of that endless wheel of karma. It's almost like karmic quicksand of imagining being sucked down into something and not being able to really find a way to control the situation, being in a sense, because there are, even though many have philosophically thought about it, is one a victim or not a victim? No one's a victim to that, but sometimes humanity has been victimized by forces who've taken advantage of it. So a lot of the process was to find ways and means, and especially in the finishing up of many of the lifetimes and missions that brought you to Earth, of solutions, of finding very viable and innovation. And that was a very important thing, to develop things that could be, as we transform technologies, opportunities, and so it is all throughout the planet, because part of the destiny lies ahead of you, and what this channel was tapping into earlier regarding the sense of helping souls and also being discerning, and in a sense, almost like a sense of a warning thing popping up in your mind, oh no, I shouldn't go there, or to stay away from that. That over there, those can be distractions, and how much helping people help themselves make the choices. And sometimes, again, it's programming, sociological, religious programming, as versus spirituality that is pure and from the divine source itself, until humanity has gotten a hold of it. And sometimes it's a misinterpreting divine sources, or as we could say, guidance. And because of different emotional, psychological imbalances that humanity has gotten into, and like one of your past lives when you came in, where it shows you as a priest, and one of a very, as we could say, kind of a very narrow way of looking at reality. And it's because it was but it was also a very disciplined way of life. And you had a couple lifetimes, in fact, where you had the dilemma, your desire to be connected, and that has to do with what we would call your twin flame, our energy coming down into Earth, wanting to be with her, but because you had taken these religious vows, that you had to forego any intimate relationship, and it was a struggle for you. So there are philosophical questions of because in the Tantra tradition, that was a very high evolved way of being when it was a very sacred orientation. Then there are those forces that have infiltrated and twisted it around somewhat, which often happens. There's corruption occurs. And whether it be mechanical, physical technologies over a long period of time is on Earth, where they become corrupted or rusted or they wear out. And then that's why certain forces, in fact, develop obsolescence, so they would break down and they wouldn't make money off of it. And there have been many different ways of corrupting it. But you originally had the knowledge how to create, manifest something that would last literally forever until you choose to change it. Think of it like molding clay, altering it. You have the ability to alter and change it. It's consciousness technology interfaces with you. It was pure. It was part of divine source, and it was still a form of technology. But it was in harmony to nature, harmony to earth, harmony to everything. And you knew that. You were a pre-scientist at one time in the earlier civilizations, even going back to early Lemurian times, the golden ages, before the AI and other forces corrupted and infiltrated the planet. There were periods of golden ages, and then things were cleared, things were moved out of the way, but it always resulted back to the same mistakes and same problems. And so you were determined to find a way through various different, as we say, spiritual teachings and orientations, even technology being used that is pure, that would help others help themselves find ways through, and that's where this channel was tapping into, through videos, through forms of technology. You can even say virtual reality when it's aligned with divine source, not something as AI as the world elite want to use to control and manipulate people for their system, but where there are pitfalls and it's nothing but a manipulation, but something that is aligned with divine source, and it is a way to enhance through that way, to observe and to be able to step back from it, like holographic technology is something this channel himself is something he was drawn to through, instead of movies being produced through using film, using holographic technology, where one is literally within the hologram itself and learning from past times without all the negative energetic charge to it. With compassionate detachment, one can grow and learn, and as it is in higher worlds, this was the technologies that were developed. Now, some of the systems such as Arcturus, which you had connections with, because that's the import system, export system, as things that are ideas that are shared, innovation. There's a lot of innovative, as we say, capacities within you that have been kind of suppressed. They're going to be coming out a lot more. The energies that are coming on the planet, something we had shared through this channel not long ago, that our divine creator of the universe itself has created, we could say, an energy. Kind of like if one was to put it into words, and this channel has shared it a number of times, it's kind of the energy saying, well, you're going to enjoy life whether you like it or not. In other words, all the pain and suffering is going to go away. There's been enough pain and suffering. That's how humanity seemed to have learned the hard way, rather than learning through joy and beauty and upliftment. That's how learning is supposed to be. But on Earth, it's been a school of hard knocks. It's been a karmic situation. And again, balance force has made it a hellish place. But that's all going to be changing and transforming. And it's through the individual transformation, such as yourself and everyone else, each in your own unique way, but still part of it, like pieces. Think of it like a jigsaw puzzle. If one piece is missing, it's not complete. So all of you are like pieces of the jigsaw puzzle. And so finding all the other pieces that can join together and complete the jigsaw puzzle, completeness, a wholeness, everything. So you were very holistic. You were very aware in a universal sense if those technologies are brought to Earth. But again, when you brought them to Earth, that is where the shortcomings, the pitfalls and things occurred, and where you learn greater discernment. So it's stored within you. And this is related to your auric field. We could say that you will start feeling more wisdom. In fact, two of the masters, Kasumi and El Moria, which are masters of the golden ray, they are beings who have specialized in the ability to discern, to develop the ability to really decipher with clarity whatever the situation, to beyond conscious opinions and theories. But but even on a higher level, we still engage in agree to disagree conversations. We just don't have, as we would say, emotional kinds of situations that happen on Earth where wars occur because of disagreements. We always find ways to work things out in harmony and peace, and what is good for the entire sense of the whole system. And this is what you are wanting to interface. You're wanting to interface, wanting to bring to Earth, wanting to find ways and means that would release the quote negative, dark, shadow self of humanity that the imbalanced forces again infiltrated and created kind of a control. And so the energy that's coming on Earth right now is very user friendly to help release the negative aspects. And it's kind of like, as we shared, how there was for a while a fence, so to speak, between the dark side, the light side, duality, and the fence was more like the Great Wall of China. It was very wide. Then it became very, very small to almost the sharpness of a razor blade. Now there's no wall. It's everybody has to decide their intent and their desire. So it's a lot of times souls can't put into words it, but we read it. We see the pure heart's desire, but because they can't seem to put into action. So there's an innovative technology, there's an innovative techniques and tools that you will tap into, especially when this channel is referring to the younger generation, many of the higher beings who've come to Earth. And again, that's why I was said about the cabal has created to distort that sense of polarity and balance, and trying to decide to destroy the potential that these younger ones have. But your sense of reclaiming that sense of the innocence, reclaiming the purity, we could say the potential humanity has, and to release the shadow aspect so that it helps to bring the golden age, because deep in your core you have memory, and this is when the veils start lifting, as it was the early ages on Earth before again those situations got infiltrated and taken over. And one has learned, and while this journey has been going on for millions of years, you have taken note that is, shall we say, you will have a number of epiphanies, revolution, and many have spoken of what has been called the solar flash, an event that's going to occur at some point in the near, we could say, coming up on the horizon here. And it's not, we would say, as far as any dates or time, we don't relate to Earth chronological time. We look at more the energetic flow of the potential. Only our divine source knows the exact moment or time, quote, and it's not always set exactly where it's going to be. As humanity evolves, things began to develop a certain realization. Oh, now I see why we couldn't have it happen earlier, because there were still lessons that needed to be learned, certain things that need to let go of, and breakthroughs had to happen. And so things can't always be preset. We kind of explain it like the outside, like the structure of a home, the skeleton of a structure that is there, the foundation is laid, and then you get to fill it in with all kinds of beautiful architecture and color and other choices. So it's a combination of divine will, which represents the structure, and the free will is what makes it interesting, where there's still spontaneity of free will that's aligned with that destiny. We like to say destiny rather than fate. Fate is more a locked in kind of thing. Destiny is more of a potential that you're creating. And so there's very powerful potential within you. The downloading of the higher lighting codes that we're downloading right now, that energetically are designed to help you tap into those potentials. And so the sense of all these lifetimes and through all the cycles that you've coming to Earth and to many around the universal realms, being been a part, an honorary member of many commands and groups, we can say, and your desire to help this planet, because it was always known that Earth was going to play a very important and unique role in the grand scheme. It's a genetic bank too, because it contains the genetic aspects of many races that came here, and it's activating those and transforming them to the highest and best by combining and releasing in the shadow aspect, the darkness, and bringing in only the light, pure light of divine source, and how each of it will be, and helping each soul discover what that uniqueness is, and how each soul, and that's when, in certain lifetimes, and you try to do it sometimes, as we said, in certain religious backgrounds where you had epiphanies, you experienced being put to death more than once because you spoke out against what you felt was hypocrisy, or you felt was narrow, where they were not speaking what they were doing one thing and doing something entirely different, or saying, well, these are the laws that apply to us, but that's just a different set of laws than the others. It has to be the same. everyone has equal opportunity to that. So there's a lot of energies coming in now. One of the things you have been kind of waiting for, while you've been busy going about and doing what you have to do, there was a part of you that knew that the universe itself we can think it's almost like an alchemical. You were an alchemist in your past, where you came up with certain formulas. You understood how gemstones and various different kinds of formulas and substances, and how it's all part of how you can create things by combining things together. Now you weren't doing things like these mad scientists, quote, geneticists, who create half animal, half human, or genetically modified foods and those kinds of things that create, as in the saying, it's not wise to fool Mother Nature. You were working with harmony with nature. You were working with nature, and by communicating with the elemental entities and forces whose job is to be the protector to the plants, and they would communicate to you, and that was a symbiotic relationship, where as a scientist, a priestess, you were in connection with nature. You were guarding the nature, but you were also a scientist, in that you understood that by working with nature, nature would give you the things to help evolve nature. So instead of being destroying it, you work with the ways and means with nature, and by working with nature in the symbiotic relationship, nature gave you things that, because of the term human having dominion over the earth in a benevolent way, as a guardian, protecting, not controlling and manipulating as the Dark Ones did. You work with nature, and even once a garden known as Finhorn, where the nature spirits were very excited. And there was, shall we say, the realization that humanity was wanting to know, what did the nature spirits want to do that would make this a paradise? And so it's the protecting of the source of knowledge and information, and watching over. In fact, one time when you were, you could say you were stationed at this gigantic, it was a gigantic planetoid computer type system. This was many millions of years ago, and this was tapped into many areas of the universe, and it was kind of interface with your consciousness and the computer itself. You were a guardian to it, and the dark forces came to try to take control. And so you were able to take the information in an energetic way and actually make it in a much miniaturized form, and hide it in another location that they couldn't find it. And they were really angry. They kept chasing after you, trying to torture you, trying to get sources, and yet you didn't break, because you had developed mind over matter. I don't mind, it doesn't matter kind of situation. And they eventually went back there, got the source, and reactivated it and put it into another system that was much more user friendly to the conditions around. So instead of having the more gigantic large size, you knew that knowledge in energetic form could be contained within the size of a molecule. That there was really no limit when one's energy is divinely connected, divinely inspired, as you were usually able to tap into that. It's when you got off course, because your higher aspect of yourself said, well, I want to understand what the Dark Ones are doing. So in order, or certain portions of humanity who are stuck in the wheel of karma, how can I help them get off of that? How can I help them help themselves? I can't, because I can't make them do anything. I respect their sovereignty and free will, but I want to inspire them. I want to elevate their ideas and influence them in a positive way. It's still up to them whether they're going to receive the influence, but if they're open to it because their consciousness, their pure heart is aligned with the high, then you have the ability, and that's what's happening now. The vast majority of humanity is going to graduate in this timeline. Unlike the old timeline the Dark Ones tried to create, where in this new timeline, we're over the majority, 90% of humanity will be making it through. And to help these souls as they go through this intense waking up and acknowledging the crimes against humanity, and many things that need to be acknowledged before, like going through hell, then coming to heaven in a paradise world that is coming into the future. How exactly that will be, it's not all defined. We can say most of it is, in the basic sense of the structure or the basic aspect of that paradise, but it's also because of having holographic technology, as you will be tapping into, that will show past times like the early golden age of Lemuria, where the Dark Winds hijacked that, and various other civilizations. When you came to Earth over and over again, and each time you got a little better at determining, detecting, and discerning, altering, working with things. And now, because of the accumulated wisdom and knowledge from all over the universe, and Antarctica being one of those places, many of the places, Andromeda is another place you spent some time. We could say you've been to literally millions of places throughout the eons of time. You have a lot of friends scattered a lot of places. Now, I am honored to connect with you today because, again, you will have an honorary membership within my command, the Ashtar Command. You're an Ashtar Commander representing, as you've been representing many other groups and commands, like I mentioned, the Karmic Board, working in a sense to transmute the karmic conditions through the cosmic law of grace, so that finally getting off the wheel of karma, bringing it to a close, ending the wheel of suffering. And so now this energy we mentioned earlier, that will be a more loving and a joyous experience. And that's because a lot of things will be eliminated and transformed. Now, the evolution is constantly going forward, and there are some of the individuals, and it will be your own wisdom and knowledge, and I know they're being telling you, but over these next few years, part of the epiphany, we can say, of having flashbacks to various lifetimes. I just briefly touched on a few of these, and having immediately recall yourself, your cosmic amnesia veils lifting, and being able to see and into your past. And also, as you come around people at times, you yourself will have the ability, this as you're working with some of the younger ones, and it has nothing to do with physical age, because there's even ones who are young of heart, they're much more elderly. Age is not a relative thing, especially with the medbed rejuvenation technologies that will come online eventually. Humanity will no longer have to die to have wisdom. One can be physically immortal, or one can leave their body in storage and go wherever they want to go. I bring all this up because there's a lot of options that are going to become very available over these next few years. We're on the verge of a powerful transformation sense of knowledge itself. And so the mission that you came to Earth originally to liberate humanity, to offer information, solution, knowledge, is now about to come online. And when I say come online, the energy of divine source itself has created energetic patterns that didn't exist before, that will now make it more available to humanity on no matter what level one is operating on. And there's a built-in sense of, shall we say, safety mechanism. So there is no way through this new technology will the Dark Winds be able to take it and manipulate it. It won't even be able to function if they attempt to do that. Technology that's only aligned with divine source and in, so we say, productive and rejuvenative sense to all levels of human nature, every level of reality itself is going to be, as we say, highlighted in that say. So helping people discover their abilities innovatively, what is best. But each soul, as we say, really in their heart yearns to do, without all of the, again, societal, as we say, programmings and indoctrination, helping humanity free itself. And this was your whole desire many eons ago, coming to Earth to free it up, to make it, to liberate it into higher levels, but because it was hijacked and, of course, it was all destroyed, a lot of those ideas. But in that so-called destruction, you learn insights, you gain things which could not be taken from you. Now you're coming into an energetic state, and through the higher load incumbents that are being downloaded at this time, that at first these things start to be revealed to you as the days, weeks, months pass, and over the next few years, as there's an acceleration, there's a building up and transformational effect of reality around you. And so you're going to have opportunity to begin to bestow this knowledge that's been lying dormant within you, bring it out, even the things I've just briefly touched on, whether it be knowledge from other realms and worlds and the galactic, we mentioned the gigantic planetoid ship that you were in charge of. The knowledge that was stored there is within your own consciousness as well. So it's like a huge library that is infinite and eternal. That is going to be, as we say, many of these places, and even in some places that you will journey to. There's a kind of an image being shown of going back to old stomping grounds, different places around the planet. And there are ancient civilizations that still exist, so we say, to this day, but buried, whether it be under the Sahara Desert, where there's a vast civilization existing there, and other places, and some of the jungles and Amazon places, and some of it's actually just a holographic veneer that the whole city is still there, but it looks like the jungle, and yet by changing the frequency, suddenly it disappears, and it was just a way of protecting that so other forces couldn't get to it until the guardians would return. And the guardians of knowledge in many different ways. So it is a great joy of connecting today to offer a brief little bit of insight of some of the journey, journey, what the channel tapped into earlier. Again, I would say that yes, this is true of the people that you will interact with. And there will be, as we say, some of the transformational processes. To try to put it into words would be that the things of society that have often been necessary for a sense of balance and order. Unfortunately, that order has often been very restrictive and limiting just by the very nature of how humanity was manipulated into forget what humanity's past and to control as parts of the consciousness of the brain, the mind, the chakras, and the knowledge of all this is about to change, and the DNA RNA activation from 2 strands, quote, 12 to 24 strands eventually. The new root race. We've referred to this channel many times about the root race that humanity is merging from carbon-based to crystalline in nature. Entirely different as DNA RNA will exist that's in harmony, not only divine source, but also eliminates AI completely out of existence. And part of this is related to the twin flame energy. And again, her energy is coming in, and more the higher oversoul self of your other half, you'll begin to feel that energy as she connects more. And this is happening to all twin flame couples. Vast majority have not met their other half, but now are about to do so. This channel's mission is to help bring that about. And as you connect more and more with her energy and some of the flashbacks and lifetimes that you've had together, experiences. And one thing this channel also had an experience in connecting with his other half, he had an epiphany of suddenly realizing that there were dozens of, quote, romantic lifetimes that suddenly manifested that had never existed before, because his other half, Celeste, he manifested. Well, all of a sudden, it was as if they always existed. What that was, because the time-space continuum is a giant hologram. Because once you create that, it's as if they always existed. You create another timeline. And because it was always existing in that reality, the romantic, the divine love, the sacred divine love, now suddenly that impacts reality. And that will eventually be one of the things that will also eliminate AI from existence. But going back eons, billions of years ago, when the, quote, Luciferian rebellion happened, we could say that your sense of originally, you and your other half were part of the celestial host. You were a guardian in the higher realms. But your guardianship it's all very similar, but yet also very unique as far as the type of guardianship. And so you were very much in charge of and aware of knowledge, information, and your mission. And that's why you became part of your mission when you became part of the 144,000, when the great clarion call was sent out across the universe. Millions and billions of beings responded to that call, but it was only certain souls. It wasn't certain souls were better than. It was the uniqueness that you had, that you as a guardianship, that would allow you to adapt in an environment such as Earth. And so there was this, we could call it special forces training, that are billions of beings who responded, only 144, that's 1,000 times 144,000 souls who happen to have the unique personality, traits, uniqueness that, because we could say divine creation, every time a soul is created as an individualized God sparks of divine intelligence. Well, divine creation throw away a cookie cutter mold, and that's a unique being. No one is exactly the same. Now you do have certain similarities, but in the guardianship of others that you have fellowship with, but you're still a unique being. Like a gem within the Father, Mother, God's treasure chest, and that uniqueness sometimes needs to be kind of shined a little bit. It gets a little dim, but sometimes because of all the experiences you go through. So you get cleaned off, get purified, and the spirit of the divine creation of the Holy Spirit comes in, and it purifies you, and you kind of start out anew again. And so you're about to come into a new cycle in this lifetime that's also part of a greater cycle, greater energy from the great central sun that's coming in now to connect with you, and again to connect with things that I briefly, very, very briefly touched on, that you will have much more, shown much more about those things, plus a lot of other things we don't even have time to talk about. But there are a lot of other revelations and things that are going to be popping up within your consciousness. So you have specific sense of technologies and knowledge, which also uniting with certain other individuals as this Earth goes through these final phases of transformation and restore. And also, as in the last year or two, there were changes already occurring that Earth is now in the process of becoming a Junior League member of the Fellowship of Worlds, the guardianship of other worlds, is now in the process as the darkness is released from this planet. And so helping people help themselves, how do they decide what they need to do to fulfill their purpose? Also to understand there's much negative karma being released, transmuted very quickly right now, and to get humanity in touch with its highest potential. And I am one of the many, as we would say, that are around Earth in guardian action at this time. There are trillions of our light ships that one day when we decloak, they will see no sky literally behind the ships, because that's how many of our ships are present at this time. And you may at times, and as in the phrase, keep your eyes on the skies, you may sometimes look up and see something up in the sky, obvious that we've made our presence a little more physically known to you. There's a number of possibilities that we gear up for what has been termed first contact at some point in the future after humanity's finished up its, as we say, transformational releasing of things, and we're allowing the new root race to come into being. Things can accelerate pretty rapidly at this time. So we are very excited again, the opportunities that lie ahead of us, and the things that have been buried and hidden for a long time are going to be renewed. What I was starting to say at one point regarding to some, we could call them expeditions or archaeological opportunities, things being discovered in parts of the world because of the holographic walls or shields around some of these things to keep people from going there. Unfortunately, the cabal went to some of these places, and so we had to take certain action to kick them out as well. There are things going on in some parts of the world gearing up so that only the right aspects of humanity will be able to access once their consciousness has gone through the major change that is about to take place at this time. Balancing out and restoring the ability of humanity, the gifts of the spirit, as they're called, the gifts of the spirit. You know, a lot of those, they're going to be activated, and it's being able to, some refer to superhuman abilities, but these are just normal. It's just a matter of something part of one's conscience, a byproduct of who one is on certain levels. So you will have memory, being able to fly around, levitate, and telekinesis, all kinds of things that are considered, again, pretty normal, nothing unusual. But humanity has been, as we say, locked out of that habit. So humanity has that knowledge, now allowing the knowledge to start to activate with wisdom and also responsibility. So it's not so it becomes impossible to abuse it. That's what humanity is moving into, being able to experience it again, embrace it, and to share it with everyone else. So there are some instances coming up. Now, we're going to see if we're seeing an instance here of an individual, we could say much, much older than you. We're going to see if we can get a name here possibly, but this individual appears kind of as a spiritual master, individual that was kind of a guardian. It was kind of some of these, as we say, mystery schools or traditions that have come down from very different areas and places of knowledge. And then because individuals come along, you have energetic connections with that. And the energy suggesting that this individual approaches you, or maybe you approach that person. It's not really shown exactly whether you're approaching or they're approaching, but it could be a meeting, a gathering, perhaps, when this takes place. And because this individual recognizes you or kind of acknowledges that you have a spiritual connection with this individual. And this individual is kind of passing the torch. It's a symbolic gesture. passing the torch or the reaching out to grab to give this person, in your case you, the keys to this, to the knowledge. It has to do with scrolls, information, and has to do with translating them, getting it out so that humanity can access it, but understand it with the light of new wisdom. Again, many things have been locked up purposely until humanity would reach a certain point, which we're about at that point right now. And many of the younger ones have a kind of an inner, kind of a natural telepathic ability to read. Some of this knowledge isn't just Sanskrit, it goes way back, intergalactic forms of knowledge, but these are in symbols. And each symbol can contain encyclopedias of knowledge, because it's not just a symbol one is looking at, it's the incumbent energy field in that symbol. When you tune into it, it opens up doors, it opens up portals that access to whether it be stargates and various other things. And you were once involved in the actually setting up some of the stargate, as we say, systems that connected Earth with various other worlds. And many of these vortexes, stargates, wormholes, and we told this channel, in fact, that they were shut down, but now they're starting, they've been being cleaned out, are being opened up again, so that humanity can just step into one of these and go wherever they want to go. And there's the ability of, again, the new root race. It's kind of a natural thing within humanity. It's a natural inclination that allows you to go wherever you want to go. It's not some big complicated thing. You just have kind of an innate sense about it. And it's there. It was shut down for a while, but now it's going to be reactivated. It's like something in the back burner being brought around to the front burner and being able to, all these gifts of the Spirit being opened up for you. So there's going to be a period of time where you'll be doing some translating, and it will just kind of come to you intuitively what the symbols mean. You look at them, you don't know why you know. It's kind of like you don't know why you know, but you know thyself. It's all there. It's pretty obvious when you tap into it beyond any other being telling you. It's your own natural experience. And it was always part of your destiny to re-access. Some of these are gold tablets, plates going back millions of years, actually, that have been there waiting for humanity, just like there are chambers, beings in stasis that have been, and it may even be one of the bodies that some of them are 8-9 feet or taller or bigger that are in these stasis chambers. Some of them have actually opened up. We woke up recently and we had to step in and take them off planet. And there's other bodies yet to be discovered. There's also motherships, things that are, as we say, in parking orbits, in very kind of a time lock kind of situation, that are in different places around the world that you will also be journeying to and kind of re-access that technology. There's a lot of different possibilities. It's not all set in, as we say, a very narrow aspect. There's a huge area of free will, but it's always free will aligned with divine will. And that's, of course, even gives you more free will because you show the responsibility and maturity of handling it, as we said. And so if you can impart to various souls along the way, over these next few years, in fact, over the next 10, 15 years, as humanity becomes part of our intergalactic community, this is the energy we're being shown, and things from the ancient past are re-accessed with wisdom now. Now with new wisdom, even what was known in the wisdom of ancient earlier periods, that will be updated. In other words, you will go back to some things that are familiar to you. You put some of these things in storage, energetically speaking, like a time lock kind of thing. Now you're activating it, unlocking it, because now it was fail-safe. It was fail-safe because it would only unlock when it sensed that your wisdom was aligned with the knowledge that was in there. So it could not possibly be abused. It's like the ultimate access code. It's only you and no one else. Only you, your energy, would be able to access. This is how it is in many of these ancient places, that no one else but the original guardians could go there. But even then, there was a backup to that. So if somebody became corrupted or whatever, then you could not possibly access it. But those who kept their purity or regained their purity, or they've been cleansed by the Holy Spirit, cleansed of all the dark shadow aspect, and now they're purified, so not one molecule, not one cell, not one aspect of the darkness is there any longer. Now they can open it up again. And now, but as we said, now you have more wisdom that you gained since that time of the earlier grounding of that technology and information on the planet. Now you can update it with these new revelations and make it available to humanity. because as we said, it's impossible to abuse this technology and manipulate it and turn it into something destructive. It won't operate that way. It just won't. It's built into the system, and that's what you made sure after you watched these earlier disasters when you came to Earth and tried to share it and saw it fall into the dark side, that you made sure that there was no way they can continue to use things against humanity. But sometimes humanity has made the mistake of tapping into things because it needed to learn some lessons. But now, as we said, it won't be the learning through darkness or pain. It will be learning through joy and beauty. And with great joy, I want to say it's been a great honor, as we said, to connect with you today. We have said many times, I've said this many times through this channel, that it's an honor for us to connect with you and others who are our ground crew members. You're the boots on the ground. You actually have taught us many things. With all the wisdom, knowledge, and levels that we have operated, when you come to Earth, Earth is like an area, it's so unique in its own way. A lot of darkness that has been here, but it's also an opportunity to strengthen yourself, to as we would say, you develop greater discernment. And so again, learning as in there's one instance in the future. It's not a matter of having to worry about it, being alert and aware, but not worried or stressed out about things. Because sometimes we'll wonder, well, how can I trust that person or that person? Your inner self, the inner warning system will go off sometimes. They call the crap deflector. Some would call it like, maybe warning, 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 stay away from there. And another part of me say, well, I know I'm going to do this. Even if all these other people say, oh, no, we've got all proof to the contrary. And yet your inner self is telling your own person saying, no, I can't do that. Or maybe it's just not that it isn't true, it's the timing behind it. It's being able to decipher and discern a little more fine-tunement to that, and when the information is released. But in what we could say, the schools, the academies, the opportunities of creating, it's even making kind of like a new, we could say, an alternative school system connected by, again, using holographic technology and helping a lot of souls awaken. And some of the incoming ones, even though they were somewhat affected by some of this negative programming that was put upon humanity, they are very able to adapt and break out of those, because it's the pure heart that cannot be destroyed, no matter, even though the external sense of humanity has been indoctrinated. This is a very powerful awakening. And it's like, so for some it will be like a near-death experience. We are standing by, bringing a lot of light to Earth. We are over-lighting as many as we can. We're ready to receive, like yourself, beyond even what we have the time to do today. But it's, again, I just want to emphasize what a great honor it is to connect with you. And so we're going to shift things around here somewhat. There's much more I could go into, but let's just kind of shift gears, shall we say, because we're learning through this process as well, that which we have shared and more that is yet to be shared as you play back this session today, the encodements that are designed, again, custom designed for you, and how what can be revealed over a period of time, that we would say is part of the destiny of you regaining access to information and knowledge that you need now in this final phase. And it's like having run a gigantic marathon and your foot's just about to cross the finish line. But that last moment, after all the millions of years of coming here and being able to suddenly have this sense of accomplishment that will begin to come up within you. First, it's very subtle, but as it builds, it's like, and some people call it the 100th monkey effect, because simultaneously, all around the planet, others that are awakening just as you're awakening, that you will begin to connect with all these others, like another level of networking, we can say, who have knowledge of technologies. They have pieces of the puzzle, you have pieces of the puzzle, and you're all joining together, coming together, and then the combination of this energy and also the highlighting codes that we're downloading today, unique to you, that will accelerate the process as well. So we want to shift things around here again, and we're going to open it up for any questions that would, for greater clarity here. Again, we learn through the process as things are shown and received and we communicated, because we're all communicating with one another on many different levels. And some of the things that may not be understood, understandable right now, that we would like to share, because of security reasons, until all the imbalance forces are removed, we have to sometimes, we cannot always give everything we would like to give, but we give what we are allowed to, what would give you the greatest amount of help that you would need to hear right now versus other things. So we try to keep focused and we try to fine tune it as much as we can. It's like a little mechanism that we constantly have to adjust and constantly get a little more groove, a little more, as we could say, a little more headway into being shown to all of us on many different levels. You help us as much as we can help you. Life is a two-way street. So we are very profoundly appreciative. We have great respect for you, our brother of light, and others who've come, who've taken the plunge many, many times, and this being your last time. When I say your last time of a vow, as we said, the last time that you were determined until the light was finally victorious. Now, the aspect of returning to higher realms, having cosmic family reunion, which is part of your destiny as well. And this channel has known for many years of our plan. We have talked about, well, we used to call them in the old timeline waves of evacuation. We had to evacuate Earth in the old timeline. Only a third of humanity survived. Well, in this concept, in this timeline, where 90% not only survives, but actually now, instead of surviving, one thrives, not survives, but thrives in this new reality, in this new timeline. But in the there are still, could we call them waves of taking people off planet for a little R&R when the time is right. You may at times, even as you go forward in the next few years before we finally get the green light to come down, you may get little flashbacks of seeing even what we call away missions that you have been a part of. When you have had certain physical things in your body, things that have been going on, you're trying to figure, why am I feeling that? Or what's that all about? In a time it wasn't clear. Well, now looking back on it, because there's a certain group of humanity that were guardians who were on away missions. That is, they would go off another aspect of your consciousness, because you're multidimensional. There's parts of you scattered other places too, and you've gone to some recent worlds to help free them up, because there have still been some worlds that were enslaved by the draconian reptilians. And so there's been some battles occurring in this final, what we call it, the cleansing of the heavens. And it's also building up to eventually eliminate all AI. But you've been involved in some way missions to free up souls and help, and so you may eventually journey physically to some places and where you will see some of the changes other planets are also going through. So Earth, but Earth is still unique in the way the matter changes and the speed at which it's evolving, how fast. Another one is never in the history of any planet has ever gone through such an intense transformation as it is now. So your personal interface with it, what you can do to develop your abilities, gifts of the spirit, which in turn impact everything around you. That's very important as you understand the interaction, the interface, as far as consciousness and knowledge itself when things are made available. But at this point, let's go ahead and shift things. And so at this point, my brother, and Ben, again, I want to say very honored to connect. I will open it up now. What might I be of great help to clarify for you?
First of all, thank you so much for sharing what you have shared with me today. I really, really thank you from the core of my heart. I send you love. And the most pressing desire that I feel is that I should be my best. I should work my best. And since I also strongly feel that I'm here for helping out, so what I feel is I would need more abilities, more resources, more power, which I'm slowly learning to gain, and use everything along with my intentions to impact, help and heal as much of humanity as is possible. I understand that I have a lot more than what I know right now, and I'm going along with the flow since more things and more ideas are opening up, and I'm getting to know more of my personal potential. So I would like to just continue on this path. Of course, help would be required in any way or form that could be given to me in my personal capacity so that I could roll out and do and execute my personal purposes, which is from the deep inside core of my heart, that just is to help out human beings, to help out humanity, to spread love and have as much love, as much compassion, as much peace, as much beauty, as much abundance on this planet as possible.
Well, we would say this is a very noble, high, uh, high endeavor, intent of what you desire to do, and as your desire of this, your dedication to this, and at times will be tested. On Earth, there are definite difficult situations, but remember that, as in the saying, "This too shall pass." That it's also the test of faith to your purpose. Your higher self can test your conscious self many times to see will you continue on even when the duality quote appears a certain way, when things appear to be when you're are focused on going a certain direction, you're embracing the best you can, the highest you can, and even then it might seem that you've gotten off course, or you may be feeling a little weird about things because you may be feeling some new energies coming in and you're trying to interpret the circumstances and the significance behind it. And those are the moments when faith and purpose of knowing that there's a will, there's a way, that you will make it through, that you the whole difficulty is an opportunity for you to develop your innovative skills and abilities, and to know that all your resources, as you said, are available to you, and they're in the energy of the resources. It's already in the etheric. It's already in the future coming towards you. It's just reaching into that part of your consciousness and manifesting what's already. Things always happen on the etheric, and then it comes down to the physical, as has been said. So it's there. It's not if, but when will it manifest? Is really we could say, and there's a special timing to everything. Divine source is when they say, we said earlier, no one knows the exact time of the day because it's cosmically top secret until the moment that that divine creation decides, okay, because this channel has philosophically wondered, is it possible that divine creation is changing divine creation's mind? Sometimes when one says, well, I thought that would have been the perfect time, but yep, there's something else coming up that's even more, even better time. Or it may seem like it's not the best time because of the circumstances. But from the divine source's perspective, it was the right time because it was challenging, because it wasn't the most perfect, what one would call perfection. It's perfect within itself, but one could judge it or view it like, oh, that wasn't a good time to do it, but it really was. But that's of course the ending of the School of Hard Knocks. Is there's not much opportunity left for some of those more, the final, getting one's final exam, graduation exam, knowing that there wasn't very many physical bodies available on planet Earth, It's not like somebody put up a cosmic bulletin board saying, "Oh, here's an opening over." Oh no, that's not my cup of tea. No. I'm going to wait for a better thing. Oh no, there's only something in physical body. There's a big long line around the cosmic galactic block of souls who are looking to come into Earth. They go, "Oh no, that's not the perfect thing." Well, you're not going to find much perfection so far on planet Earth until we come into the golden age, but you might as well take this one. This is the last. And so when you realize how many souls really, literally, were standing in line, it's not that one is better than. It's that one's uniqueness of having made a vow, a sacred vow, that you keep coming back to finally. One could officially say, "I completed the course." We could say completed the situation, mastered all of the things that were thrown at you, that you wrote into the life script, that you would overcome to temper yourself. Again, you can never learn this anywhere else in the universe. Well, if you learned it here, then like the special forces of that thing, then you could go anywhere in the universe without any difficulty at all. It separates the men from the boys, the women from the girls, is an old saying. It tempers you. And sometimes when you thought one could say, "Oh, I didn't make it through," you actually did make it through because you didn't sell out. You didn't do it. Take an easier way. You did the whole course to be as much to do it, take advantage of this opportunity as much as you could, to learn as much as you could in what little time on Earth, because really the 6.5 million years is a little flash of time, really, compared to the billions of years of evolution that has been evolving and participating. I'm a part of the cosmic extended family, all the vast numbers of worlds and places you've journeyed to. And as this channel likes to often refer to, the light club, not nightclubs, but light clubs where you have parties and celebrations and party down, party up, party sideways. Drinking nectar of the gods and eating etheric food that just it's just an incredible experience. I'm giving a few examples of and the beauty, the celestial music of the spheres, the joy, the beauty. At times you'll have these breakthroughs and you'll see something, you hear something no one else may be hearing, but you'll hear it, and it'll be the soul music, the spirit of the music inside yourself. It's like the celestial music as we hear the divine creation manifesting beautiful sounds and energies and the sounds, and then at the same time then you see the physical manifestations, the harmonics of that created. That was something you had tapped into as the sounds, the frequencies, which was the ability of the ancients to levitate things. You understood quite well that you created a sound. You could do it with your voice even. You emitted a certain frequency and you were able to levitate those stones that were hundreds of tons weight, and they became weightless. And you just, with a little finger, you could push it away, kind of thing. That's how natural it was. But now looking back on those things, because they've been hidden in mystery and antiquity and the mists of time, but all the mists of time are leaving, are lifting, so you can see the places. You can turn back into that and reconnect with your ancient heritage and all the beings who you cared about, who you loved, and were part of the fellowship, the things you shared, battles that you shared against the dark side, and worlds you freed up. And now we mentioned the away missions. There's places your soul, other parts of you are going, working with other beings to clear out areas of the universe. This is something this channel started tapping into recently. And others who are experiencing this, different type would call way missions, to free up souls. And because the new energy that divine creation created, as we said, is creating new opportunities that had never been possible before. And as the implications of that starts to merge down into human, and as the 3D is becoming 5D, and all of the everything is being revealed. There's no secrets. All the skeletons in the closets are dancing out. You have a lot of new storage room too now. Now the skeletons are out of the closets. You can use this for new storage areas, new revelations, new opportunities, and perhaps that's probably the joy of really coming into your power, coming into your integrity. Kind of like the analogy of something mechanical, when it's not, when it comes out of integrity, it can break down. When the physical body holistically is integrity with divine source, you're doing the things that you need for optimum health, awareness, consciousness, all your chakras, your pineal gland, everything is tuned and fine tuned. And you tap in, you see the multiple levels of dimensions that surround you. And you're able to travel and go a lot of places, a lot of areas that wouldn't have been possible, but the body is going to adapt and will become part of the normal nature of things once again on this planet in the new race that you and others are merging into. So we have come here, of course, to help humanity help itself. We are the guardians and Elohim that watch over humanity, but we had to allow humanity to learn the lessons it has, and also the rescuing of a lot of souls that got entrapped, now being set free, and both on heaven and both on the earth level of so many souls that came in this final time, that you're going to help really reconnect with who they are and their mission and their purpose, and restoring the Garden of Eden, the paradise, back to this planet, and then the certain, we call them time loops, that will eliminate AI completely from creation, so as if it never existed in the first place. It's a matter of being, because we're all part of divine creation. It's working together to create that ultimate perfection that continues to be perfected, continues to be refined into more joy and beauty, and so it shall be. But for a little while, for the next few years, this is one of the last, most difficult, challenging times humanity's ever had to face. More is happening in a shorter period of time, individually as well as collectively, than has ever happened in the history of the planet. Imagine what the implications of that means, how overwhelmingly extreme. So sometimes when you feel exhausted, this channel sometimes feels that you're just being empathetically aware of humanity's overwhelming feeling. So you're all feeling it in different ways. And it's okay to take a moment to, oh, I got to take a moment to take a breather. It's overwhelming. The nature, so much is happening, so much is being revealed. And so just be kind to yourself. Pat yourself on the back and say, my God, golly, I've gone through what I have gone through. And we want to bless you and say how much we love you and care about you, and are here to, again, help you help yourself. And but we have been intervening. There's always been philosophical questions about what are we allowed to do and not allowed to do. Well, our laws of non-interference, our prime directive, has shifted somewhat, so we are now given a little more freedom, a little more authority to step in a little more up close and personal way than we could a few months ago, even. Because it's your activity. We've said this through this channel many times. It's what you do that gives us mandated authority to step in more and more all the time. So the more you do, the ultimate win-win. You give us the authority to take a little more direct, personal, up close and personal action. It's individual with each person. We must respect free will always, but our passion is to help you help yourself, to inspire you, to elevate you, to challenge you to be better than you've been. Better meaning be more evolved, to perfect, to enhance, to bring more beauty and joy, and elevate the world in the process. Enjoy it, and inspire everyone else also as they inspire you. And so life truly becomes a two-way street. And so we're just, as we can say, tickled pink to help you in every way we possibly can without making it too easy. You have to face the challenges, but we're, again, knowing we're there as the cosmic cheerleading squad to root you on, to cheer you on, because the finish line's coming up really fast. It's like that. Some people have had the nightmare where they've been in this tunnel, running in the end of the tunnel was always as far away from them as it was. Now the light at the end of the tunnel is coming really close. They're getting closer to it very rapidly, symbolically speaking, about to bust out of the tunnel into pure light. But for a while, it seemed like it kept, no matter how fast you ran, you couldn't get to it. Now it's coming really rapidly towards you. You're finally gaining control over the so-called centrifugal force of gravity that has held humanity where it has. Now the karmic wheel has come to an end, and the karmic situations are being released, transmuted, so you're being freed up. But it'll take a little while to dawn on you what we have pointed out. It will become pretty obvious, but sometimes things can be in front of somebody and they just don't see it because it can be hidden in plain sight. I was there, I just didn't see it. Now it'll start to reveal itself because again, the cosmic security access code is being adjusted to allow you to see it. You couldn't see it before because you weren't ready. Now you're getting ready. And it's just a matter of fine-tuning a little bit more, then everything will be revealed ultimately. So we stand by. Is there other things we can help clarify?
I did have one more strong desire. I'm sure a similar desire would be present in the hearts of all the other great souls on this planet who are working with the light, of the light, and from the light. Um, the desire is something that I've felt for a long time, since the time I was a child. So it's been many, many years. But recently, of course, because of the sequence of events and the way things have been working out on this planet and in my personal experience and in my personal existence, the desire is, of course, I'm sure you must have got this from a lot of other people, but my desire is to experience a personal interaction with you on a physical plane.
Well, that is to occur, as we said earlier, when the time is right, as termed first contact, when we can openly come down and to sit down and be in fellowship, embrace, and to welcome you back again into the fold, and as part of the cosmic extended family. We have a powerful desire to reunite our cosmic family, and those of you who've taken the plunge, who have come on these extended tours, War for Humanity's Freedom, has not been an easy thing, but that sacred vow that you took eons ago to now fulfill it, so now you can have some more R&R and party down for a little while. You've earned that. You didn't do it for rewards, but isn't it nice to be acknowledged and rewarded in the sense that life itself, because of the wisdom, the knowledge, the experiences you put yourself through, part of the great reward is just the feeling of accomplishment, of helping so many souls out of your love for humanity, love for divine creation, helping souls help themselves be freed up and find peace and joy. No more suffering, struggle, no more having to struggle to survive. Instead, you will begin to thrive in the golden age, where new technologies will make it easier and everyone will have plenty of time to visit. No more having to work at jobs and things that psychologically don't fulfill one. Instead, your work will be play. Your work will be your passion. Your experience will be that which not only is part of thriving, but being able to manifest more beauty and joy and in the party and celebrations upon earth. That should be the normal and will become the normal reality. So yes, we will have the great cosmic family reunion, and so never will humanity be separated again. Will now become play a major role within our alliance, and we are just very privileged and honored. I am privileged and honored to come today and connect with you, to acknowledge you, and to remind you about a few things, which is only it's like in the phrase, the tip of the iceberg. If you were to look at the side, the tip that I shared with you, the rest of the iceberg that you're going to tap into that's below the water, this little tiny little crumb almost of the iceberg, really, compared to the gigantic iceberg hundreds of feet across under the water when it's revealed to you. But that represents the greater beautiful, full sense of knowledge, the spectrum of reality, of all the different levels and dimensions and realms of your past as the cosmic amnesia veils start to lift. Playing back the session a number of times, and then other things that are then extensions into other experiences as well, other channels, other individuals who had contacts with us off planet who are also doing their work, different types of things, like different chapters of the book, different pages different paragraphs things that will stand out that will be more noticeable, and something else will be revealed. And it'll just keep on escalating and accelerating as building up to the time, and we will come down when the time is right. And so we look forward to that and the great joy of the fellowship that we will experience. And again, is there anything else that I might help clarify for you before we allow this channel to come to a close, and what he's is allowing me to come through and others who are standing by, that you will eventually, and of course you can reach out to me. I'm always open to communicating. We always say use the Christ frequency in different aspects of protection, of guardianship, because there are still a few individuals. Well, we've cleared the astral planes a lot. There's still a few individuals who try to pretend to be. Many have tried to pretend to be me, in fact, which we understand their reasons for doing that. We just send them a lot of love and light. We visualize the divine source connecting them to their potential. Sometimes they have to be recycled to the Godhead, so to speak, because of like the ones who are guilty of crimes against humanity that are termed unredeemable because of the things they willfully, with intent, did. And so while we can forgive beings, we cannot forget, and we cannot allow beings to continue to operate who are doing everything that the divine creator doesn't want them to do. There comes a point when finally things have to be balanced out and justice has to be shown, and which also is to wake up humanity. Divine creator can forgive all souls for mistakes. You learn from those. It's the willful intent of misusing free will and power, as Lucifer did, that eventually comes to a point when they must be recycled. Then they're created as the new energy. The energy of that being then is recycled into a new being with unique personality that starts the whole process all over again. And for the vast majority of humanity, this is a time of great joy because of such freedom, of being able to feel truly sovereign, free, and no longer oppressed, manipulated, but true joy and fulfillment on every single level, and then some. So I bless you. I'm going to say again, what a great honor it is. I'm Lord Ashtar of the Ashtar Command. I now will prepare to let this channel come back. And as above, so below, and so it is.